Welcome back, AP family. We're continuing with example 2. We're doing part D. Construct and interpret a 99% confidence interval for the difference in mean decrease in systolic blood pressure. Explain how this interval provides more information than the significance test in part B. I'm going to star that second piece because it's kind of like a two-parter, and to be honest, I forget when things look like two-parters. So I'm going to put a little star so I don't forget it. So now I want the difference in mean decrease. I'm going to do calcium, the calcium group, which was group 1. If I pull, this was part A. So group 1 was the calcium group, group 2 was the placebo group, and I have my summary statistics here. So I'm going to do calcium minus placebo. This is to just help me maintain order. So that's 5 minus a negative 0.27. You could also just write 5 plus 0.027. I'm sorry, 0.27. Plus or minus, I'm going to leave my critical value blank for a moment. And then the standard error. Now, from part B, I showed you the not required calculation of t, but this was the standard error. And really quick, since you probably have your formula for AP statistics, maybe, I don't know, you're painting it on your wall while you're bored at home. If you look back here, because I haven't been referencing this, but sampling distributions for means you're going to see for two populations. You see here is the standard error. So this is the difference, and this is where I'm getting that formula. So this is the square root of 8.74 squared over 10 plus 5.9 squared over 11. I have the summary statistics from part A. That was one of the reasons. And I'm going to write with degrees of freedom. And then from part B, if you remember, I had 15.59 as the degrees of freedom, but there are going to be some issues here. So I'm just going to write from calculator. I didn't write that before. Now, if you remember in the notes, it did say for the degrees of freedom, I had a few options. You could use the calculator, which that's 15.59, or you could use the smaller of NA minus 1 or MB minus 1, so that would be 10 minus 1 or 9, or 11 minus 1 or 10. So you would use 9. So one option is to use degrees of freedom of 9. I'm going to have to plug in my critical T, and that's one of the critical T's you could see plugged in. So if I pull up my T table, oh, you could have also done this on the calculator. I didn't even think of that. But 99% going up. If you use critical degrees of freedom of 9, the critical T would be 3.25. But if we use 15.59 on here, it will go to 15, so that's 2.947, which will be a little thinner. So if you use the technology, it's a little thinner. 2.947. I'm going to put a little note here. DF equals 15 from table. Now I'm just going to grab my calculator. Funsy funs. So this is 5.27 plus negative 1 comma 1 times 2.947 square root 8.74 squared divided by 10 plus 5.9 squared divided by 11. And I am getting negative 4.42 to 14.96. Okay, so now don't forget construct and interpret. Even if it didn't say the and interpret, I would have actually stated it here. So I am 99% confident that the true mean difference in decrease in systolic blood pressure. Please specify order, calcium group minus placebo group. Placebo group is between negative 4.42 and 14.96, and I'm really quickly going to check the original problem and see if it gave us units. I am not seeing units in the original problem. I do know this does have units, I just don't know what they are. It's like milligrams per something, deciliter of blood or something. But I don't see units, so I'm going to just write units. Okay, if you can put units, put units. I'm putting a little line here because I put the star here. So now explain how this interval provides more information. So, one thing I want to write is that the interval agrees with, and we fail to reject the null. So I fail to reject the null. So interval agrees with the hypothesis test since we fail to reject the null. And 0 is a plausible difference. 0's in the interval. It's a plausible difference. Now, how does this give us more information? More information, which is the actual question here. It gives us more information because the confidence interval gives us a range of plausible values. For the difference. So, okay. Hope that this helped.